Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap, and today we have yet another topper with us in our studio, and his name is Mr. Yashpal. He has recently cleared FCI AGM examination, and today we will know about all the strategies that he followed as well as all the learnings he had from the examination. So, hello sir, welcome to EduTap.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Right. So, sir, what was that reaction when you saw your name on the merit list?
It was kind of surreal, and a sigh of relief came when I saw my name. I've been preparing for very long, like 4 years,
Right.
and I was really satisfied to see my name in the final list.
Right. Yeah. So that feeling when you look at your name, you get relieved that whatever hard work that you have done, it has finally paid off, and now you can start the next phase of your life, that student preparation phase that has been over. Right. So, sir, what is your education qualification and how you ended up preparing for FCI examination?
I'm a postgraduate in biological sciences from Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Mohali.
Right.
So it was a 5-year dual degree integrated program. So after that, I started preparing for UPSC examination in 2017, and because I couldn't clear UPSC in the first 2 attempts, so I thought of switching options
Right.
and started preparing for regulatory body examination. And along the way, this FCI AGM exam came, so
Right.
I prepared for it, and finally I got through.
Right, because you were preparing for all the government examinations. Then this, luckily, FCI it came after 5 years, and you applied for it, and you certainly cleared it. Right. So, sir, if we look at the pattern of FCI, because it was different, more or less different from the other regulatory exams. So, what we will do, we'll have the knowledge of what sources that you preferred, as well as what learnings you had, or what can you suggest to the aspirants, section wise. Right. So we'll start with numerical section and reasoning as well. So, sir, what were the sources that you prefer, and what was your strategy?
Okay, for reasoning, I followed Ankush Ramba sir initially because I was very weak in reasoning and quant. So, and for quant, I followed Arun sir. I mostly watched his YouTube videos and learned the tricks. For reasoning, I would say the strategy I followed is first I would attempt the easy questions, and then I will move on to attempting the difficult, like sitting arrangements and puzzles.
Right.
And for quant was my weakest. Like I was really fed up of arithmetic and all.
Right.
So I did not focus that much on arithmetic part. So I followed the strategy of getting at least the required amount of mark that will clear my cutoff. So
Right.
that was my strategy for this particular. And obviously the mocks play a very big role. Yes. So I regularly used to give mock test for these particular sections.
Right. So it would definitely motivate the students who are not good at math, because this in particular examination there was no much about how much questions you can attempt. So what he did, he focused on the on his strength, whatever other strength he had, instead of focusing on math, which he thinks he is not good at. So, and also he tried to do a lot of mocks, because that would give him the idea of what kind of questions or what topics that ask in exam a lot, and he prepared accordingly. Right. So for GA, for general awareness, what was your strategy?
So I followed Affairs Cloud.
Right.
Yes. So from ever since I have been preparing for regulatory body examinations, I followed Affairs Cloud. I think it is one of the best source. It is very lengthy, but it is really good. And along with Affairs Cloud, I also followed one YouTube channel. So I complemented both the sources and prepared accordingly. So you need to be regular with your general awareness, because if you try to cover after the end of the month, it's going to look like a huge task for you. So my advice would be to prepare every day, or at least in a week.
Right. So, sir, talking about GA, what type of questions were asked, be it for static portion also? First of all, let us enlighten the aspirants also that is static portion more in is asked in examination, or is it the current portion that is asked more?
I think I personally focused on current portion itself, and I did not much worry about the static part, to be honest. And since I had UPSC background, I was kind of, the question in IBPS asked like questions like the
One-liner
national
type.
parks, yes,
Yeah.
national park. And also it's, if you are like if you are continuous with your preparation, you get to know things where are, and you give continuous mocks. So I think my advice would be to focus on current affair parts rather than the questions which are very limitedly asked, the static part.
Right.
Yes.
So, sir, in static mean it was more about which national park is where, Orbit
Yes.
Wildlife Sanctuary. Means one-liner
Yes.
that are the static GK constitute. All right. So what? So your strategy was to focus more on current affairs
Yes.
because the static portion rate is quite huge. And instead of covering everything, because current affairs, even if you're following any source, the current affair would be same for everyone. It just some sources they give quality current affairs, some do not, right? So current affairs, because same for all, that is why it is better as what you suggest, right? That the current affair one aspirant should be focused on, right? So sir, again in current affairs, for example, in other examination, for example, if we go for other regulatory bodies, be it NABARD, be it RBI, specifically NABARD, they ask a lot of statistical data, for example budgets,
Right.
for example how many budget is allocated, or whatever static portion, the scheme report it has. So sir, in FCI case also questions were there.
Yes, sir. There were a lot of questions from budget, yeah, in FCA examinations. But in general, I would say, but see, IBPS mainly focuses on conceptual part and static, these factual parts.
Right.
So the conceptual part they ask is very basic in nature. They test you on facts. So how you can prepare for the facts is that you go for, like, if you are preparing for RBI or NABARD, these examination, ESI is a very economic and social is a very important component. So the strategy I followed when I was giving this examination, I would go directly to the PIB website, follow that regularly, and make my own notes.
Right.
So that is what I did, and I did not rely much on coaching notes because sometimes people tend to miss the facts which actually IBPS asked.
Right.
Yes, they are my understanding of the process they ask the examination they check you on the facts.
Right.
Like in NABARD examination, they ask like how many projects are being carried out in national infrastructure pipeline. So they will be directly mentioned in the PIB website.
Right.
Yes. So for the fact part, obviously you have to be very, very, you have to be specific
Yeah.
about that. Yes.
Yeah, right. Because whatever examination you're preparing for, every examination has a set of pattern. So it is very important that you know that what is the pattern that is asked in examination. For example, like he was preparing for UPSC, so in that this factual data, I don't think it is asked,
Yes,
right?
yes. So
Yeah.
initially it was very difficult for me actually.
Right.
UPSC doesn't ask these kind of factual questions, but when I shifted to preparing for RBI and NABARD, I saw these type of questions. Then I realized, okay, this is the need of the examination.
Right.
You cannot get away with that.
Right.
So yes.
So first we need to understand what is the pattern of the examination, and then we have to study accordingly. That's what sir suggests, right? So sir, now this is for the GA. If we come to the management and ethics part, maybe some of your preparation during UPSC must have helped. But again, because the syllabus, what about the syllabus? Was it different, or how can a person who is a non-UPSC background, according to you, he can prepare for this?
Look, I think I won't say I'm a hardcore UPSC background student because I
Right.
prepared initially for one year, and then I got in panic mode because my age was slipping away. I was already 25 when I gave my first attempt in UPSC.
Alright.
So I started preparing for these RBI examinations. So I'm a postgraduate in biological science, so I had no idea what management and other
Right.
these things are. So I had borrowed this course of yours from one of my friend. So since then I prepared for management part. So I already had the management notes with me. So it was not a problem for me. And I think for management specifically, I would say your course is sufficient to that kind of question asked in examination, especially
Examination as
conducted by IBPS.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, again, because every examination they have their pattern, their way
Yes.
of asking questions, and we need to keep that in mind, because if you go for management ethics also, it's a vast domain.
Right.
Right, so we should know that what is asked in examination and how they can ask it. So, so for that, you also gave mock test also, but or you just went for reading it.
No, I watched the videos and PDFs. I gone through all the PDFs provided by EduTap for both management and ethics. I gave around 10 mocks. So it told me that where I am standing. I was getting reasonably good rank, around 15 to 30. So
Right.
I that gave me confidence. Okay, I'm going in right
Right
direction.
direction.
Right.
Yeah, one the best thing about mock is that they highlight your rank among all the people who has given mock
Yes.
test. So it can be demotivating also for some people, but in the same way, it is motivating also, because then we
Yes.
get to know where do we stand in this limited number of people. And in examination, I guess 4 to 5 times the people are there, or maybe more than that.
Yes, I think you need to get comfortable with the demotivating factor. If
Right.
you are preparing for these examination, the competition is brutal out there. You cannot be complacent. Okay, I got this much, the rank, and I cannot prepare for that. So you need to have that courage, to see yourself going down,
Right.
either in mocks or in the real examinations. So
Right, especially when we are when we are in the preparatory phase, we face a lot of such moments.
right,
Because that is why preparing, right? Or otherwise we would have been posted somewhere.
right.
So demotivation, it is the part of the journey, and one should remember that
Absolutely.
always, right? So sir, now the main hurdle, I would say, because agriculture was one of the section, agriculture, economics and computer. So sir, yes, you are from biology background, but still there is some difference between agriculture stream and biology stream. So sir, what was your approach, like how did you manage to find the sources, or how did you choose that this particular topic it is more important than the other, and how did you prioritize, what I mean to ask?
Yes. So actually, this time around, I focused on the syllabus completely. I took out the printout of the syllabus and I marked it. Okay, this particular section I have to study from there. I followed two sources.
Right.
One is EduTap, and other is the book named Nemra Sulla.
Right.
That is a great book, and
For agriculture.
yes,
Hmm.
that is a good book for competitive examinations.
Hmm.
So I watched, like I went through the PDFs of EduTap, and I did not make any notes out of it because the syllabus is very vast. I just went through it couple of times, and also because I had given interview of NABARD last year, so I was kind of aware of the kind of questions IBS tend to ask in agriculture related examinations. Yes. So
Right. So again, it is all about the syllabus and the pattern that
Yes.
is asked in
Yes.
examination, right? So sir, there was no negative marking in examination. How do you see it as? Like, was it beneficial, or because now many people they can guess, they can keep guessing, and some people they are very good at it.
Mhm.
So, what do you think that this negative marking it helps or not, or the sectional cutoff, as there was no, right?
No.
So, what are your thoughts on these perspective, or how does a student
Mhm.
should focus on?
I honestly believe there is no positive or negative impact of not having negative marking,
Negative
because it's same for all, right? If there is negative marking, then it is same for all. If there is not, then it is same. So yeah, there was no sectional cutoff because there is only one examination for this. But if you see the cutoff of this examination, then
Yes.
it's almost around 75%. Yes. So like if there had been negative marking, the cutoff might have dipped a
Very
bit.
lower.
Yes, might
Yeah.
have dipped a bit, but again, it's same for all. So it's a level playing field for everybody.
Right. So, in one hand, they did not. They gave us this liberty
Yes.
to guess the answers, but on the other hand, the cutoff it was so high.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Right. So, sir, as there was no sectional cutoff, so but still, did you focus on every section, or you felt like that you would focus much on some of the subjects and while keeping the rest aside?
See, my target, I knew that this, like, only 30 seats are there for general administration all over India, and I knew that cutoff would go around 75%. So my target was that I would get around 75-74%. That was my target initially. I never had made such kind of target before that.
Right.
So yes, so I thought in GA and maths, reasoning and management was I was good at that. So accordingly, I for every section I made plan that I need to get this much amount of marks, around 30-35 marks in each and every section. Then only there's a possibility that I will clear this examination.
Yeah.
Even if I had thought of leaving one section, then I wouldn't have cleared this examination. So I picked, focused on all the sections of this examination.
Right, because it's not just about clearing the examination, it is
Yes.
about getting into the merit list of the examination. So it's better to focus on every section so that you can get the best out of it. Right. So sir, this was everything about the written examination. So what about the interview? So because I guess this was your first interview, maybe, or have you given?
Second.
Right. So this.
NABARD interview I gave last year.
Okay, so you have given NABARD interview. So, sir, for interview, there are two school of thoughts. Some people say that the panel, it is very cordial, they support you, they encourage you for the answers. Well, there is a second school of thought which says the panelists, they are quite rude and they seems like they're not interested in your answer. So, sir, what does your experience say about it?
I had contrasting experience in both the interviews. For NABARD, they were really good and cordial, giving leading me
Right.
towards answers. But in FCI, first of all there were around 11 people,
Okay.
and it was kind of scary side at first. So they were like blank face. They didn't, even if I gave good answers, they would not make any sort of facial expression.
Right.
So you don't know what you have just said is correct or not.
Yes.
So that is kind of, but that is what the interview is about, right? You have to be calm in that situation and
Right.
not to worry about the things that is bothering you.
Right.
Yes. And for interview, I personally believe that is my strong part. Always have been, I believe. And so in interview they test you in three things. That's my personal belief. First is they want to know you. They explore the student initially. They will always start with exploring the student, like his background and his educational background. They may to make you comfortable, they may ask about your parents and all. And the second thing is how keen you are to join that organization you are paying for. Right. Suppose I am paying for FCI or NABARD, they would ask, okay, what this organization, the function of this organization, and they even may ask what is the sole purpose of that organization, right? So for example, in RBI they ask why do we need this RBI when we have central government. So
Yeah.
similarly in FCI they ask me why are we spending this much of food subsidy to we are covering 2/3 of the population of
Right.
of this country in National Food Security Act. So they will put you off guard sometimes.
Right.
So you need to be prepared for that, and for opinion based question you need to be prepared for that. And the third part I was telling is the general awareness of the student, right? The current happenings happening in the country or maybe outside the country.
Right.
So on these three parts they judge you.
Right. So, sir, because you have a gap year, because you were preparing for 4 years,
Yes.
and as you said in the interview, this interview before also, that age factor, it was quite concerning for you.
Yes.
So, sir, were you asked or grilled about this particular factor?
Nobody grilled me, but it has to come internally, right?
Right.
So I believe that 25-26 is the age and you are you should have a job and you should be earning by yourself. Even the central government, my father is a central government employee, and after 25 I'm no more dependent.
Right.
Yes. So I think that is the age when one should start earning. And for me personally, I wanted to pursue PhD, but due to some health issues I had to switch, and I had the gap before preparation, around 1.5 years gap. And the first examination I gave was at the age of 25 plus.
All right.
Yes. So so it was difficult for me to take the first failure. I
Right.
failed in UPSC in my first attempt, so it was difficult. I got panicked and started preparing for all sorts of examinations,
Right.
from state PCS to you just name it.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is, I think, aspirants need to understand that age for a middle class student, it's very important to consider age and as well as finances,
Right.
right? So you take into consideration all these factors, decide if you are preparing for UPSC. If you are around 21 22 years of age, then you can continue preparing for UPSC for around 2 3 years more,
Right.
because you have the liberty of age with you.
Right.
But if you are around 25, do not just focus on
One. Yeah.
you do not just focus on UPSC or state PCS examination, because the process itself is very long.
Yeah.
Around 1 year it will take you to get
To let you know, even if you
Yes.
made it or not.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will take around a lot of time.
Hmm.
So my advice is that take around prepare for a set of examinations
Right.
which are having overlapping syllabus.
Syllabus.
Yes. So for in my case, like I had been preparing for UPSC, not UPSC, RBI, NABARD, and
Right.
FCI. So they had overlapping syllabus. ESI,
Yes.
ESI is there in NABARD and
NABARD and
RBI.
RBI.
Management and ethics is there in NABARD, RBI and FCI.
FCI.
Yes. So, and obviously, if you are preparing for these examination, do not forget to write the lower level examination like PO and clerk, because they will prepare you for the first stage of these high-end examination.
Right.
For because all the
Prelim of almost all the examination
Yes.
constitute of quant and reasoning, English.
so
and that only.
fill all the forms
Forms.
of exams conducted by IBPS.
Right. Because eventually IBPS have a pattern, be it for PO, be it for clerk, but some of the type of questions that have been asked, they are more or less similar, I guess. Right. So, sir, as in for interview, uh, as you said, some of the you should know about the organization as well, and you also told me that you should have a justification, whatever you have done, why you have done so or not. So even when you were preparing, so how was it like? Were you completely dedicated, as in you have this thought in mind that first I'll be settled and then I'll start the other phase of the life, or what do you think can be the best, that having a balance between your life as in to live it fully and preparing, or it's more like first achieve any goal and then continue with parties and everything?
Look, I started with UPSC, and
Right.
this year I was even willing to join as a clerk. So
Right.
I would like to say that you need to keep your ego aside at one point of time. Then only you can achieve belief of having achieved something. So I gave clerk level examination this year, and I ended up becoming an FCI AG.
Yeah. Right. So Sar says, because it is very important, especially for a middle class guy or a girl in today's scenarios as well, that you should keep in mind we have, because the responsibility eventually it will come to you, especially in the case of middle class families. So you should always keep that thing in mind, right? If you are young, start preparing early. If you have crossed a certain age, per se 25 26, and if you think that the financial condition or maybe the other conditions are not good at home, you should not just satisfy your ego for one examination. Like, how cannot you clear that examination? Now you will clear that, but you should also start looking for backup as well, because at the end it's not just about money, it's about the family as well, right? Yeah. So, according to Sir, his strategy was that first of all he stuck to the syllabus, and he also looked at what the IBPS pattern is all about. See, whatever organization is conducting an examination, they have their set pattern. So, first understand that, and then he says that he has done a lot of mock test, as well as he has watched YouTube videos as well for the preparation, because when you go for a particular source, per se in case YouTube, he talked about, whatever organization is making that material, that organization is making it according to the set pattern of the examination, so that reduces your task. And mock test always helps you to understand where you stand among the limited people who has attempted that particular mock test. So that could, and he says that do not demotivate if you do not get a good rank, because that is just a preparation phase. If you take it as a challenge and you get motivated with it, you will definitely get good rank in the examination. For GA portion, he says, because static portion is so vast, if you have time you can cover, but it's better if you go for current affairs only. And that is also what the question asks. Some questions, some are conceptual based, some exam, and in some facts are being asked. So you should know whatever exam you're preparing for. In FCI the questions were from statistics and budget, so you should know about it. And for management and ethics he had his sources that he preferred. And for agriculture economy, because that was something new to him, he just stuck to the syllabus. He printed out the syllabus. He used to just underline the topics whatever he has covered. So that was for his written. And he also says that it is not about just clearing the examination, it is into the getting into the merit list. So do not skip any section. You can prioritize accordingly, but do not skip any section. That he says for the written part. And for interview, he says there are 2 to 3 things that you should be aware of. First of all, whatever biodata you have written, whatever education qualification you have, how you shifted to that particular, preparing for that particular examination. And also he says whatever examination you're preparing for, or for whatever institution you're preparing for, you should be aware of that particular institution, that what it does, why it does. You have that analytical answers also, because they can ask you opinion based questions. So that was all, I guess, that you said. So have I missed anything?
No, you said all.
Right. So, sir, anything that you want to say to the aspirants who are preparing for FCI examination, and whatever learnings did you had from this preparations, so that a person do not commit the same mistakes which you did?
I have already stated that always keep a lot of these finances and age factor in your mind, and keep your ego aside. Prepare for a set of examination. Don't just stick for one examination that you have to clear, like जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं, जब तक फोड़ेंगे नहीं, जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं. Don't have that attitude in competitive world, and prepare for a set of examination. You will get at least one. That is my take.
Right. Because, and those set of examination, they should be more or less of the same,
Yes.
I guess, post, if you feel like.
Yes, that would be, yes. Like if you are preparing for regulatory body examination, you can prepare for a set like NPS, SEBI, PFRDA. They have almost same exam syllabus and all, I think, same pattern as well.
Right.
And if you're preparing for RBI, and then prepare along with for NABARD also. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So do not keep all your eggs in one basket. You should be aware of your age as well, and how your family condition is. Basically, you have to keep that in mind also, because it's not just about what you want, because it comes with what the family want as well, right? And family, it plays a major role while preparing.
Absolutely.
Right, because they invest everything in you, even though if they are suffering themselves. So we should also consider that. That what sir says. Right. So that was it. This was all the suggestions he gave to the aspirants, the learnings he had, and also what he feels like would be the best for you. For the sources, he gave name of many sources, he gave name of many teachers. And sir, I really think that it would be really helpful for the aspirants, especially who belong to the middle class family.
Right.
Because
I think majority of them belongs to, I mean, very few preparing out there would be having spoon fed, right? I mean,
Right.
silver spoon.
Yeah.
So I think it's relevant for everybody out there.
Right. So because it is important to be in reality as well.
Yes.
And prepare for anything, but your base should be clear, so that you can clear any examination. Right. So that is all for today, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your important views, and I really know that it is going to help the aspirants.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming.